And welcome to Major League Minor, also known as Dodson's Kitchen. This is where all the magic happens. I'll be cooking up some scores, highlights, and predictions for you in all three leagues in Oklahoma, including the GDFL, the CFL, and the XFL. Starting off with the XFL, last week was really nothing out of the ordinary. First game we're going to talk about was the Oklahoma Nightmare over the Green Country Phoenix by a score of 42-0. Now, I thought that there might have been a little bit of a possibility that Green Country could come in and maybe have a little bit of a game, make it tight, and who knows, maybe even pull off the upset. No, not happening this week. They got walloped 42-0. There's no question that the Oklahoma Nightmare belong in the XFL championship game. Speaking of which, on to our next game. The Oklahoma Force traveled all the way to Wichita to meet up with the Kansas Cougars. Now the Cougars, they came in here really salty. They've had some issues with officials, from the past couple of seasons. They're tired of hearing about it. They think that they deserve to be in the XFL championship, and by a score of 40-14, they do. Now, this is going to be a really good matchup between the Kansas Cougars going into this XFL championship with the Oklahoma Nightmare. There's been some jabbing back and forth. If you follow us on our news feed, both of these teams, they think they're going to win this one. And who knows? It's a really good matchup between the two. Now, the first time that they met up was in Week 1, and of course, the Oklahoma Nightmare traveled all the way up to Wichita, and as we knew, they were leading, I believe it was 12-0, somewhere in that factor, 12 or 14-0 in the first half, and then Kansas comes and pulls away. Now, of course, there was some controversy as far as officials go, and that's what carried it over. But now we're going to be playing at a neutral field for the XFL championship game. It's going to be played in Enid. Now, great location. However, the biggest problem with this, though, is Commissioner Mike Hilbert took it upon himself to schedule the game at 2:30. Now, granted, the weather there, it might not be too bad. It's probably going to be raining. So we'll have to check out, how everything is going to go. We'll put up a nice little, matter of fact, here you go. Here's a graph of the forecast for Saturday. Doesn't look to be too atrocious. Luckily, everything should work out. It shouldn't be too bad. We'll have to pray that it doesn't. So, XFL championship game at Enid High School. Be there at 2:30. Bring an umbrella, some parkas, but go out there and definitely watch the game. It's going to be a great game, folks. I think you're looking at two teams that are really double-A caliber as opposed to single-A caliber. I think it should be a really good game. Moving gears, we're going to switch to the the CFL. But beforehand, I actually do need to make an announcement, something that was shared with everybody this week a few days ago. Oklahoma's oldest team in semi-pro football, the Oklahoma Force, has announced that they are going to close up shop. This was their last year. After 8 years under head coach Dennis Albert, they've decided that 8 years is enough. They've tried at several championships. They've really put together some great structure for a lot of these guys coming out of college and high school that wanted to continue their play. And honestly, from the deepest part of my heart, I couldn't have done what I've done with the OMFL or any of the other teams around here wouldn't have got their start if it wasn't for Dennis Albert and David Potter. I want to congratulate you guys on 8 years of football, and really want to thank you both for being there and really helping everybody out, including myself. Anyway, switching gears to the CFL. Now, CFL had some good matchups, and they also had some blowouts. So let's go ahead and start with the Joplin Crusaders and the Kansas City Saints. That score ended up 54-0. There was absolutely no comparison whatsoever. Number 1 versus number 8. You're looking at a team that can dominate and probably really beat a lot of AAA football teams out there. Of course, if you follow along with the news feed, they've been asked to play against the Oklahoma Thunder. So the Kansas Cougars, both teams really didn't express too much interest, but there's possibility that the CFL All-Stars could play the Thunder. That would be a great game, folks. I wish it would happen. I wish I could be there to watch it. But no, I'm stuck here in Washington State where, unfortunately, my private jet doesn't exist yet. However, if you would like to donate to the Dodson Private Jet Fund, please do so. I will link up a nice little website. In the meantime, we're going to go to Game 2 of the CFL. That was the Queen City Grizzlies versus the Enid Enforcers. Man, did I get this one wrong. I thought that the Enid Enforcers at their own stadium, at their own home field, would take care of house, but Queen City coming all the way down from Springfield, Missouri, boy, did they close up shop for those guys. By a score of 33-10, I didn't see it coming. I knew that the Grizzlies had a really good team out there. I just thought the Enid might have been better, but not in this case. They took care of business and moved on to the next round of playoffs. Final game for the CFL, that was the River Valley Reckoning going up against the Arkansas Guardians. This one I call this was going to be a tight game. I think I gave it a 3-point spread last week. It was an 8-point victory to the Reckoning. Honestly, it could have gone either way. It's going to be a really good week up and coming for tomorrow for the CFL. We'll get back to the bracket for the CFL. We'll talk a little bit about GDFL football, including the Game of the Year Part 1, right after this.
It's no secret the times are tough. With the war, economy, famine, and the great drought. Now, I'm no super genius, but I know we got to take it back to simpler times. Time before cell phones, computers, refrigerators. Hell, time before clothing. Give me simpler times.
Simpler Times, available at your grocer in the unrefrigerated section.
And we're back. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Central Football League playoffs. Starting off with the American Division, the number 4 River Valley Reckoning, coming in at a record of 7-3-1, are going to be facing off in Joplin against the Joplin Crusaders, 11-0. Coming in this game, you know what? I don't have too much confidence that the Reckoning can pull this off. Joplin's just on a roll. They haven't lost one game in forever, it seems like. So I think that the AA football champions of last year are probably just going to roll over the Reckoning. I'll give a prediction on that one as far as total numbers here in just a minute. Now we're going to switch to the National Division Championship, which is going to be the number 7 Queen City Grizzlies, coming in a record of 6-5, going at the Northwest Arkansas Battle, a record of 8-3, and your number 3 in the CFL. Now, this one is going to be a tighter game. If I was going to watch any of the two, nothing to take away from Joplin. Always love to see them play, but I think this matchup is going to be one for the record books. And here, I'm going to go ahead and give a bold prediction on this one right now. I'm going to say that the Queen City Grizzlies are going to go and take care of business. I'm going to say that the Grizzlies are going to win by 14 points. They shown us last week that they can do it in Enid, and I think they could do it again. I think they're going to actually make it to the CFL championship game. So for your next score, the Joplin Crusaders, I'm going to give them let's just say 21-point favorite against the Reckoning. I don't think the Reckoning has really they could, who knows, but, I'm just not going to say. I think Joplin Crusaders have got this one. So there you go for your predictions as far as the CFL is concerned. Now going back to the XFL. After everything I've seen this week from the forums, with the location, how the teams played this year, I'm going to give a 3-point favorite to the Kansas Cougars. The Cougars really coming in here really salty. They're upset about a whole bunch of other stuff that they think that they're being called cheaters, which it's really not the case. Nothing against the players or anything like that at all. I think it's just something that was mismanagement perhaps on the owner's side for the referees, but it's also something that can be fixed. So I think the Kansas Cougars come in here, and I think they win by 3. It's going to be a tight game. Both of these, all 3 of these games are going to be really good. So pick your poison, Go out and watch one of them. It's going to be a great weekend to watch and spectate and have some fun. I know that there's going to be an off week or two from a couple of the GDFL teams. I know that the Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters have had their game unfortunately called this weekend. So you Bounty Hunters, hey, pick your poison. Go up to Enid, go up to Joplin, go up to Arkansas, have some fun. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and switch gears and get into the GDFL right after this.
Hey, do you want to feel so energetic? Try Power Thirst. Energy drinks for people who need gratuitous amounts of energy. With all new flavors like chocolate. Chocolate energy. It's like adding chocolate to an electrical store. Sound the alarm. You're gonna be uncomfortably energetic. What's that? You want strawberry? Well, how about rawberry? Made with lightning. Real lightning. Sports. You'll be good at them. It's an energy drink for men. Energy. These aren't your dad's puns. These are energy puns. Turbo puns. Science, energy, electrolytes, turbo lights, power lights, more lights than your body has room for. You'll be so fast, Mother Nature will be like, slow down. And you'll be like, fuck you, and kick her in the face with your energy legs. You'll have so much energy, just running all the time. Power running, power lifting, power sleeping, power dating, power eating, power laughing, power spawning babies. You'll have so many babies. 400 babies. Give chocolate to your babies and they'll be good at sports. Make your babies run abnormally fast. They'll run as fast as Kenyans. People will watch them running and think they're Kenyans. They'll race as fast as Kenyans against actual Kenyans, and it'll be a tie and they'll get deported back to Kenya. Hey, go with the sure thing. Don't gamble on your energy. Snake eyes. Try Power Thirst, the energy drink that will make you soar.
It's been a year and a half since we last seen the biggest rivalry in all of semi-pro football, or at least in the GDFL. But this past weekend, it finally came about again. Here are the highlights from last week's Game of the Week between the Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters and the Oklahoma Thunder. The Thunder struck first, using a lengthy drive in their opening possession to come away with a 27-yard field goal by Bill Perry in the first quarter. The Thunder would add to its lead in the second quarter with another 28-yard field goal and a 3-yard pass to Prentice Elliott. The Bounty Hunters finally scored late in the first half with a 3-yard rush by Gerald Jones, but the Thunder responded right back with another touchdown drive with just seconds left to go before halftime with a 4-yard pass to Prentice Elliott to take the score 20-7 lead into halftime. The Bounty Hunters scored the initial points of the third quarter on a drive featuring a 30-yard pass from speedster Vincent Penny, capped by a 2-yard quarterback sneak by Gerald Jones. The Thunder defense kept up the pressure from that point on, allotting no more points from the Bounty Hunters for the remainder of the game and even forcing a safety in the third quarter. Derek Hunt added an additional 36-yard touchdown late in the game to cap the score and the Thunder victory of 29-14. Part 2 of this team rivalry, or Turnpike rivalry, will occur at Putnam City High School. I believe this one's going to be touted for July 18th, Saturday, July 18th at 7 p.m. Make sure you get there a little bit early on. Get yourself a good seat because that one is going to be a blast. I can guarantee you. Brandon Newey was not even in this first game. You had offensive linemen that were still playing in different leagues. I think you're going to see two totally different teams matching up in part 2 of this. Make sure you get there. In the meantime, the Thunder will travel down to the Dallas Diesel to match up with them, and of course, I think they're going to blow their doors off. Now, I know that a lot of those guys are going to be coming back in from the MPFL to join up with Dallas. It won't be such a blowover like it was last time, but I still think that the Thunder are just going to take away from it. In the meantime, the Twin Cities Spartans forfeited to the Lawton Hellcats this weekend, so unfortunately for the Hellcats, they have no game 2 weeks in a row. The Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters have a bye week this week, so there'll be no games in Oklahoma City. So we'll just have to go up and watch some of the other regional action going on with the XFL and the CFL. Get out and watch some football this weekend, folks. Until then, I'm Chris Dotson, and you're watching Majorly Minor.